past is history, the future mystery. This moment is the gift.
Welcome, 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 Miracle Makers. It's Dr. Sarah Larsen. I am so glad to be with you again. I am in Sunset Gower Studios more than anything on the planet as a medical intuitive, as a woman that has the most divine love relationship, as someone who has survived so many things and is thriving. I want you to have the life of your dreams. You know, there is no one quite like you. I realized that in my near-death experiences. We are just energy, pure, utter, beautiful, incredible energy. And the more of you that comes alive, the more everyone and everything comes alive around you. You have 100,000 processes happening this very second in your body. The intelligence of your body lives, your intelligence, your life force lives in every one of your cells and every area of your life that you're willing to bring light, love, possibility, aliveness, the life force in. Every one of those areas, well, it renews itself. You get younger. You enjoy every moment from multiple perspectives. I want that for you. I want that for you because I understand we're not going anywhere. You and I are in this primordial soup energy dance forever. We have guests in our home right now, and it's so beautiful because it's so easy to really see ourselves when we have guests come in and give us feedback on how they see us, and us give them feedback. And I started sharing about one of my basic belief systems and basic ways of engaging with everyone in life. One of my basic engagement ways that I interact is if I meet you, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to experience you and know you for the rest of your life. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to create every area of trust, faith, love, extension of myself so that we can optimize that meeting, whatever orchestrated God, source, love, life, universe, whatever it was that made us meet. I'm going to use that moment for us to just create possibilities, more faith in source and God together. I'm going to use that moment. And so one of my basic principles is you're going to know everyone you meet for the rest of your life. And if you believe in energy, or that there are more lives or more energy that you're going to be, that this body is just a vessel for the energy that you are, and each cell is energy, and each cell in your body, each organ came together to build you and to love you and to give to you. And by receiving that love, by receiving that intelligence, oh my gosh, you're able to give that to every person that you meet. And if you take every person and every moment as a divine appointment, well, yes, life is a lot more fun. It can be really, really intense. And it really adds so much to every moment. Our ancient Mayan elders, our Incan elders knew that and shared that and have all of these rituals and all of these things that they do. And so I'm going to invite you to participate in one of the galactic galactic conversations or calendar events. The Mayan Incan elders went by a 13-moon calendar. That extraordinary calendar that they had always left one day out of time. And that one day out of time matches the Gregorian calendar, which most of us go by now. The galactic calendar, the 13-moon calendar, accounts for July 25th to be a day out of time. And my miracle makers here locally in Los Angeles, and we have miracle makers flying in from around the country to come participate in a ritual. You don't have to come to our ritual. Those that are coming are invited. I want you to create your own day out of time and to learn about this for yourself. This is a day that is considered to be not in the past, not into the future. It's a day that's considered to be all on its own, where all the primordial energies are available to you. We know when there's a full moon, it affects our body. When there's a new moon, different things happen. We know when there's solar flares and as we're spinning, rotating, following the sun where it goes, riding that wave, we know our bodies change. We also know this galactic calendar that was created so long ago offers us a time to really sit in and participate in ancient ritual that allows us to know ourselves more than we did before. So our local event, we're going to open the Akashic Records. This is something that I love doing. I'm trained in and enjoy opening that gateway. For you to experience this ritual at home, it's really, really great to invite all the directions into your home. So July 25th, and it happens at sunrise. So we in Los Angeles are going to start at sunset on July 24th and honor the rotation of the earth going around the sun, and then we will complete on the 25th. On the 24th at sunset, we're going to call in the directions. We're going to thank for everything that's come about so far. We're going to talk about ourselves as the descendants of the ascended masters that have helped orchestrate. And some of the ascended masters, some of that energy is so beautiful. We can call them, label them. But there was a first time that a human did anything, a first time that we received the angelic realm. And so we call in the directions, then we declare ourselves to be a descendant of all that's ascended. And then we create from there individually a feeling of being connected to everything around us with our body in the current moment, connecting, appreciating, feeling. We use all of our senses. And then we open up regions of our brain, our intelligence, through breathing, through techniques. And we allow each person that's part of the community to share an aspect, a skill set that they're fantastic at. There are no leaders, there are no followers. There is just the primordial soup of energy that's wearing bodysuits. And these bodysuits become available to interact with and re-begin again with knowing themselves to the highest level, understanding themselves, allowing mastery. And we will watch the sunrise on the 25th. And that during that sunrise, this Sirius star, and to really, really honor and talk about all the celestial beings around the earth. For example, we'll talk about what Saturn offers Earth. It rains diamonds in Saturn's atmosphere on one of the moons. It's really, really incredible. And to talk about that and to remember that our body's ingredients started from the stars. A day out of time, July 25th, July 26th is considered the Mayan New Year. And again, the Mayan calendar starts with the 13 moons and all of the labeling. And I'm so grateful that it's one of the things that I get to share. We will close out the ceremony. And there are different ways. And on Miracle Makers Academy in the newsletter, we'll be sending this out more step by step, how to create that for yourself. But at sunrise on the 25th, wherever you are, connecting with the Sirius star system will initiate the cascade of things within your body. The oxygen, the carbon, the hydrogen, all of it forged light years ago still is connected and communicating and interacting with. That's what we know now is possible through quantum physics. Every part of you stays connected to its origin. So again, taking it back, every person that you meet, you will know for the rest of your life. So build faith, build trust, build relationships with them. If given the opportunity, July 25th, take a moment, create for yourself a day out of time. Appreciate the cosmos, appreciate the universe within you. Connect with the Sirius star system and begin again July 26th and allow yourself to step into ever greater mystery. If you do participate July 25th, Dr. Masaru Emoto, it's actually International Water or Global Water Appreciation Day as well. So we ourselves are going to be at the ocean doing the recommended prayer that he recommended. Dr. Emoto was the one that photographed crystals, and all of the experiments where you speak to water in a loving manner or beautiful music to water created beautiful crystals. Angry, hateful words to water created diseased looking crystals. And we're now looking at that with trees at schools, at sort of the bullying experiments. You have to reset yourself over and over again. If you reset yourself to the earth, to the galactic calendar, what a gift you give yourself and everyone else. Your body knows, and the intelligence of your body is everywhere. I love you. I can't wait to hear you on the other end when you're calling. This is the call-in show, so we'll be answering your questions for you. And I know we've got callers on the line. Before we bring the callers on, I want to bring in my amazing co-host, amazing husband that I call baby, but prefers to be called handsome, glorious man.
Handsome man.
Handsome.
That's my superhero moniker is, and here comes handsome man.
Yes, baby would not make a great moniker.
Baby's not a good one.
No, but
yeah.
handsome
man.
Just amazing man. You show up for me in the most beautiful way.
Well, I have to say, the more I hang out with you, the more and more I become a miracle maker. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
So if others are asking, Greg, how do you do it? I just spend as much time as possible with Dr. Sarah. That's what my secret is.
Yes, it's a good list. We actually were so busy. Season 1, we set this show up as our date time in our family. Yes. And we would come on. We're now in season 3 and enjoying these episodes so much. We're still so busy. Last night I went to Agape. Greg went to a baseball game and then a basketball game?
Soccer game. Tyler's soccer game and then his basketball game.
His soccer game and basketball game. And so we are we wanted to honor the last day that Agape was in Culver City. Agape is now moving. It is now officially moved, and the next service will be at the Saban Theater. If you're local to Los Angeles, Saban Theater is so incredible. I can't wait to hear Ricky Beebe's music. Ricky B sang one of the songs off her album that's about to be released. And oh my goodness, I was in tears the whole time. I was crying so hard I had to leave to go wash my face. The sanctuary, such an amazing experience. And agape, we consider the word agape all conditions love. You're forgiven before you do anything kind of love. And so to have the faith and to have the knowing that you can share anything, be and authentically grow. All conditions love no matter what. And Agape has been that home for us. So congratulations, Agape, moving to the next chapter.
Yes. All conditions love.
All conditions love.
Doesn't matter where they're at. They're definitely sharing all conditions love.
All conditions love. And Reverend, just out of this world, the message was continue. And he had such a unique way of saying the word continue. And so it was just an order and a process. And I think it really describes the premortal soup, the pure energy, the love that we are. This within with the core of that is this knowing that we continue. And every area that you're willing to welcome and receive in your body stays alive and you continue. Anywhere that you've become stuck in. And this is where I love the work I do. I help my clients see the areas they're stuck in, or they come to me when they're stuck. And we wind up being able to clear, bring back aliveness, help them continue to the best of their ability, moving forward, creating results. So that medical intuitive world, giving and being able to communicate what your body's saying, and also in relationships, you don't know what you don't know, and quite often you need someone else to point out to you what you don't know about yourself. Baby, can I have some more water, please?
Yes, you may.
And what's happening for you?
Well, as you were saying that, it's funny because, in our relationship, I really do know everything. So it's very rare.
It's so funny because there was one time in our kitchen where I was stomping, and Greg is 6'3" if you're watching us on iHeart or one of the podcasts, and I'm a lowly 5'2" when I'm not in heels and a half, 5'2.5" when I'm not in heels. Anyway, when I'm in heels, I'm 5'6", just saying. Anyway, we were in the kitchen and Greg was saying something, and I said, just because you have...
You can say it on air. A penis.
Doesn't mean you're always right. And then a little bit later on, it was so extraordinary because we were up in one of the kids' bedrooms, cleaning the bedroom or helping organize it. And Greg says something like, I'm a man. I know these things. I know I'm right. And we were just howling because in relationship, we could really see. And I really did have this belief down in the core of myself, being born in Asia, being born in with a mom and dad, and this belief system that men know more, and men have a different authority in life than women have. And in that moment, stomping my feet, pumping my fist up in the air, beautifully declaring for myself and for Greg that women, that me, I'm intelligent, my voice matters, my opinion, not just because I'm a doctor and degreed, our roles as man and wife, had been preordained, so much so that we had to declare who we were becoming was different than the way that we had been in the past. And until we had that moment and could express it, it was really beautiful to because something invisible to us became visible. And we could really, really then navigate the world differently, having that awareness about ourselves and sharing in such a beautiful way. And so Greg really did believe, because he was a man, he knew everything. And that had been programmed into him. And so many men and women are playing those roles and those parts in life, unaware that they're even doing it. And I would tell Greg quite often, baby, I don't know how to, and I would share with him the energy behind it. And until those conversations, until that energized way of showing up in the room in that moment, until those moments, that's when we broke the spell that was holding us, and we could really navigate our relationships and our partnership as equal. And so it's so, so beautiful. The other part that just blows us away is having dedicated our relationship to being of service. And so it's so great that we've done mission trips and service before, but just yesterday an article came out in the Herald Sun in Sebring, Florida, talking about what we just did in Puerto Rico, and great pictures of our trip down there for helping those in Puerto Rico in medical situations after Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Maria, all of those hurricanes. We went, and it was so beautiful to see that. Baby, anything you want to add about being a man?
Being a man?
Yes.
Let's see. You just have to be wary. I think of this of late. You know, I see some of my friends on Facebook. They'll be like, "My girl, she's crazy," and I can understand that because women communicate through emotions, and sometimes what's being communicated isn't like rational or isn't logical.
Yes.
And so, but the what I would reflect back to them is that you're crazy for thinking a woman who's in an emotional space and trying to communicate her emotions. You're crazy for thinking that some guy is going to all of a sudden pop out and say, "Well, this is what I mean logically and rationally." It doesn't work that way. And so that's why when we are in experience together and you're communicating your emotions, I try to say as little as possible because I'm waiting for you to like move through all of that and then sharing all you need to share, and then presenting it. And you might even have to say, "This is what I need you to tell me right now." And then you give me some words and I share those exactly with you as you're telling me, because it's not about right or wrong or rational or irrational or, logical or illogical. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a woman or the feminine in her emotions expressing herself. I want that to be shared. I want you to share what you're feeling and the words of those feelings, no matter what those are, because I want that to be expressed from you. I'd rather you share your feelings, whether and I don't need it to be right or wrong or good or bad, anything like that. I just want you, the person I love so dearly, to be able to communicate what's inside you.
It's so beautiful, because that's what's happened in our relationship.
Yeah.
It really, truly has. You made it safe for me to come out and grow from a two-sided being. I was either in service or in the darkness. And if I was in the darkness, I hid. What that means to me was, if I was showing up, if you needed me, I could show up and be of service, be a doctor, be the medical intuitive, help in all the different organizations that I could. But the second it was time to go home and rest or sleep, just a mess. And it was recently that I finally realized I'm not stupid. It's so funny for me to even say this out loud, but I had a learning disorder when I was a kid. And most of my life, I've felt like I was stupid. And then I recalled recently that I tested into a gifted high school. I went to Ben Franklin, gifted high school, and was in advanced college courses even in high school. And most of my life, I have so many degrees. I have so many, emotional freedom technique, neurolinguistic programming, learned Hippocrates, all of those teachings, all of these different certifications besides being a medical doctor. And I somehow didn't feel like I was smart enough still yet that it would be, and I had to stop and really receive, wow, not only did I work really hard there, I was in service, and I've got all of these hours, extraordinary number of hours, really registered, helping others navigate their medical intuitive world and navigate the world with healing crises or whatever that was. And the feedback was, wow, my other doctors couldn't figure it out, but you did. Or the feedback was, I don't know if I'd exist without you. And I was still not receiving that fully. I believe it all comes from God and from Source, but that I have disciplined myself enough to know when it's from Source and to take it through the lens of disciplined education, learning systems, knowing the meridians of the body, knowing which molecules are forged where, knowing biochemistry. And today I can really sit here and say, I feel intelligent. I am the authority. I know this for me now, and I love being able to serve and continuously birth myself into this intelligence further and further. No one else can make you feel smart. Only you can. No one else can make you feel loved. Only you can make yourself feel loved. No one else can do the self-mastery work for you or get you to realize how incredible you are and turn on that miracle frequency. You've got something so unique, Miracle Maker. You are so brilliant. That soup of energy, that pure energy that pulses your heart will continue. And you can either express it right now, grow your ability to express it more and more, or there will come a time where you will develop yourself enough for it to continue and show up, continue and show up. Maybe anything else you want to add before we take callers?
I feel callers right now.
You
feeling it.
You're
yes.
feeling the callers. Woohoo! Jarvis, our producer, is here with us. Jarvis, let's take our first caller. Welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Sarah Larsen. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I just want to make sure you turn off your radio. Yes, and or you might be listening to us on the radio, the computer, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're listening to us. Please turn that down and just focus on the phone. What's your name, caller?
Can you hear? Is it me?
It is you.
Okay, this is Avishag. I wasn't sure.
Oh, Avishag, we're so glad you're here. What's your question, love?
Well, actually, things are going well right now in terms of I'm realizing that I am transitioning into another phase, and I'm going to be completing whatever inner work I have to do to complete that. And so I'm excited about that. And you told me once that there was something that I was stuck in, but I wasn't ready to be told about it or hear it at that time. And I've always been curious as to what that is and if that was already resolved or...
So
I don't know if
it's so beautiful. So I've known you for a long time. I think you were one of the earliest people that I met when I came out of the closet as an intuitive and started reading. Besides being a doctor, it's so funny to go into the world and show up and say, hello, I'm also an intuitive. And I did 1,000 readings for my grandmother, palm readings when she passed away. And so many of my clients made videos or thank yous for me. Avishag has been one of the ones that's shown up to classes, and she's often exchanged services. And so she's been the benefit of exchanging and receiving services for her to do service work. And so it's really interesting to have this time frame come in and to be told about what area has been stuck. And the area for you, Avishag, is that it's very hard for you to experience a moment, and I think you're ready. I think you're starting to see that there's nothing wrong here. You were stuck in emotional pain, and I was too, so deep. I had emotional pain so deep that it was hard to see the world through a lens that wasn't or didn't have some aspect of emotional pain attached to it. So there was everything in the room, but we had trained ourselves. You had trained yourself to find what was wrong and to emphasize that energy rather than seeing all of everything that was right. And so there has been, and you are ready and have maybe even broken it now, that there's something wrong here, energy. You were stuck in something's wrong. And you had made it, there's something wrong with me. And you had made it even further that if only I could figure out what was wrong with me or what was wrong, that you could then be right. There's nothing wrong here was the big thing that you were stuck at, not being able to see. There's nothing wrong. Did that make sense?
Yes. It just seems there's so many layers to that, even that idea, because I guess there's still a part of me that sees wrong, but it doesn't see wrong maybe in the same way that I wasn't stuck. Like, it's like, okay, imbalance, maybe that's a better choice. So that's wrong, but it's not maybe the same kind of wrong.
Right. And so there was the energy of there's something wrong here. There's also the feeling of not belonging to anyone but yourself that you've cleaned up. Like, now you belong to the world. Now you belong to your family. Now you belong to the Miracle Makers community. You've been one, and I'm really proud. I'm really, really proud to say it's so beautiful to have served you this many years, right? In the manner that you have come and shown up in our lives. It's you've offered exchange. You are it's amazing, and it's so beautiful because we've watched our kids grow up and watched different things happen in different ways. Yeah. And so I'm really quite proud of that for myself, and that now I've figured out a way to give to you with boundaries around it for myself. You belong. There's nothing wrong. You belong. And that you're not alone. And no one else can give you those feelings. Those have to come from the inside out. And for myself too, there was so much emotional pain that when I looked out into the world through the lenses of my eyes, I missed all the good stuff because I was attached to a particular way of looking at the world and experiencing the world. And now you're strong enough to where your stories of pain, emotional pain, do not define you. And your possibilities, what you're creating, is what defines you. You are not alone.
I'm
Yes.
just starting to find creating, I guess. And it was like, it wasn't that I couldn't see the positive things, I just couldn't see myself connecting with them or receiving them.
Right. And yet you've received like the best medical intuitive advice. You've come into even the different communities and the different gatherings. You received the best without feeling necessarily that you received. Like, because there was always something missing. There's a great song. I just saw Jennifer Hudson sing it live, and it was in The Greatest Showman on Earth. Jennifer Hudson was at the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra. She was in this epic long gown. We saw this in The Greatest Showman, and what she sang was incredible. Never enough. There's never enough for me. And Greg and I watched that at home, and we tear up. The owner of Universal Broadcasting Network loaned us the movie. We haven't even given it back to him, the singer version, because every time we see never enough, we connect with that, because so much of our world is suffering from never enough. And there's so much more available than ever before. The poorest among us is living better than anyone did 100 years ago. And so, Avishag, I hope you will sit with the mantras and the affirmations. Sit with the mantra, really, really, I belong. Everything is okay. And I am being understood. I am understood. I belong. You are part of something so magnificent. You're ready to receive that. Only you can knock yourself out of receiving that. You belong to everyone. Everyone belongs to you. Besides that, you're a miracle maker. I hope you will sign up for the Miracle Makers Academy if you haven't already. We'd love to see you there, Avishag. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Bye for now. Baby, as you're shaking your head, because it's so, anything you want to add?
Yeah, that's so challenging to we live in a world of material abundance. You can go so many places and meet other people, and there's like so many different ways to connect. You can like jump on a plane today and be at the Eiffel Tower. I mean, it's like our world is so opened up. You can connect online. You can talk to people all around the world, and still there's that gap within, or that emptiness within, which can only be filled through a spiritual journey, in a sense, going within through meditation, through other spiritual practices. Because the external world and all of its abundance and in all of its beauty will never be enough to fill that hole until we go within.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I love that. Thank you. That the journey from, some say it's a quote, I don't remember who said it, but the journey from your heart to your head is the longest journey. And truly, that's what it is. When you live from your heart, you can really receive that there's nothing wrong. Everything in the moment that your heart is beating is still okay. And no matter what, and this is Viktor Frankl said that, the greatest freedom cannot be taken away from you. The greatest freedom is your ability to choose how to react. So really coming from the space of, there's nothing wrong here. I belong, and I am not alone is so important. Jarvis, let's take the next caller. Welcome, 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 caller. It's Dr. Sarah Larsen. Who are we speaking with? Hi.
Am I on?
You are on. Welcome.
Wow, my name is Rusty.
Hi, Rusty. I love your name. I'm going to be smiling the whole time we're talking.
Well, you have a beautiful smile, so that's going to make a lot of people happy.
Aw.
I just went back to using that name after many decades because when I was a little boy, that's what they called me, and I noticed when I use it, it makes me feel like my true original self, and that's my mission, is to restore that being.
Well,
So I have called you. We've talked before. I've been working on for several months on trying to be okay with a horrible relationship ending, and I live in a tiny town of 2,000 people, and I see the woman I was with almost every single day. There's one coffee shop, including today, and she not only won't speak to me still, she won't even look at me, and I've been praying about it and doing ceremonies about it, and I pray every day, sometimes twice a day, to have some sort of
closure.
release from resentment and tension and reconciliation of at least just being neutral. And she absolutely shuns me in every possible way, and I don't know if I should just give up and stop thinking about it or what.
Rusty, thank you for sharing that. It's the hardest thing because one of the things that we've got to understand is things outside ourselves get created from a way that we relate to ourselves on the inside. And this situation got created because you are withholding your love from yourself or your joy or your possibilities because it's a want for her to be or recognize or just give you some sort of energy. And it's so hard to fully understand this, but this is you in particular. There was a time in your life that it felt like someone went away and you had no control. And slowly over time, there's been different versions of this showing up over and over and over again in subtle ways. They just stopped seeing you or recognizing you. And so tell me about that just a little bit.
It's a bona fide childhood trauma. I was about 3, and I refused to get off the swing and get in the car when my father ordered it. And he said, "I'm going to teach that kid a lesson he'll never forget." And he put the whole rest of the family in the car and drove away. And I was out in the country at a school in the outside of town, and all I remember is a giant field of grass and running as fast as I could, and the car getting smaller. So it was like abandonment trauma. And yes, it is reactivated, and it has been numerous times in life. And that's part of what's happening here is I'm trying to make contact or have some sort of neutralization or reconnection with her, like at least friends, and she absolutely will not even look at me.
And a childhood trauma multiplied every cell from your body, and as you grew, this childhood trauma is expressing itself because it wants you to make okay what happened. In a sense, overall, the universal understanding, the universal forgiveness, the universal loving yourself and never abandoning yourself. And so in subtle ways, over and over again, this incident in various forms has been created, and it's literally causing dis-ease in your body. It keeps you up at night. You have sweats. Yes. You're having sweats right now, which is because your body's trying to release or let go of this stuff. And you're such a beautiful human being. You've served so many, but your father's anger has come up, that response of I'm cutting you off. And you've threatened other people with it, and now it's shown up in your relationship with the community that you're in. And so every part of you is asking you to love you and to appreciate you and to see yourself as a 3-year-old boy. Can you do that right now?
Visualize it, yes.
Okay, beautiful. And I want you to really tell me what that in your 3-year-old voice. I want you to say, Dad, you taught me I could make it no matter what. It wasn't because of you that there was something inside me connected to God and Source. I made it, Dad. I want your 3-year-old voice to find the words and to find the language and to share it with your dad.
Dad, I want you to know that you taught me I can make it no matter what.
Dad.
There's a power within me.
Yes, go ahead.
There's a power within me that can be stronger than what other people do or don't do.
Dad, I trust my decision to stay on the swing.
I trust my decision to stay on the swing and claim my own power.
And claim my own power. Dad, you gave me power.
Dad, you taught me how to have my own power, no matter what.
No matter what, I claim my power now.
I claim my power now.
I claim
as
it.
my own.
Yes, I want you to feel your belly. Your belly's doing some funny stuff.
I'm rubbing it in.
Yeah, okay.
I
Beautiful.
claim my power now. I claim my right to be here in my power now.
You're going to have to do that for at least 21 days. So all the cells in your body hear you. You're going to have to claim that for your feet, your calves, your knees. You're going to have to claim that when you go to bed. You're going to have to claim it when you wake up. My darling, the outside situation has to do with you claiming your power. God, this woman, everything is sacrificing itself and being what they don't want it to be. They don't want to be that. They want to show in every way that they can get over it. And you getting over this, claiming your power, stepping into your joy, you're getting your dad back. Your dad taught you how to be a powerful man. And I want you to say that in your own way.
Dad, I want to thank you for teaching me how to be a powerful man in the world.
And I want you to feel that power, that love. You are one of the most loving human beings, Rusty. Would you say that's true?
Yes, but some people would not agree with you and I.
When you go into rage, you become something different. Is that a true statement?
When I go into rage?
When you go into rage.
Yes, I become like my father, who was a rageaholic.
You become like your dad, who is a rageaholic. And so you embracing your dad in your body will release the rageaholicism process. It opens that door. You forgiving your dad will reignite possibilities within you to where when the rage starts to sprout, you will be able to breathe because you know how powerful you are, moment to moment, so that it's not the rage that creates the power.
Authenticity versus reaction.
Yes. When you're authentically knowing your power in moment-to-moment awareness, claiming it for the next 21 days, in the morning, claiming it in all of your body, you'll be able...
I'm going to write it down and carry
Yes.
it like a mantra, like a 3x5 card.
Yes, that's so beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And I recognize it. I had the same rage. I wasn't allowed to express myself. And so
You were squelched from expression.
I was squelched from expression. My husband can tell you there was this beautiful, dainty Sarah, and then all of a sudden, too much would happen, and I would explode. And everyone knows how to help me ride the wave now. Baby, do you want to share anything about that?
It didn't happen overnight, and it was a journey and a lot of compassion and a lot of forgiveness. Because for me, I saw so clearly the love that was present, this beautiful expression of a human being, and then that rage would overcome. And even though that was very uncomfortable and hurtful, and the last thing I would want, I knew it had to arise to heal.
And out of that came the words, "You're forgiven before you do anything." Out of that expression, and I went through this process. I carried the mantra, and I carried it in my pocket. I carried it. I wrote it everywhere. That authentic expression: I am a powerful being. I receive my personal power. This is how I got it. Rusty, we love you so much. Thank you for being a miracle maker.
Thank you. I'm immensely grateful for our time together, and I want to mention that I think your only learning disability was being born into a world of packed with dim-witted people. And I consider you absolutely brilliant in every possible way, and I'll be a tireless fan of yours all the way the rest of the way through this lifetime and on into the next one.
Oh, I wish you could see me. I have tears in my eyes. Thank you. That means so much to me, Rusty. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Your husband, is it Greg?
Yes, it's Greg, yes.
I consider you one of the most fortunate men that I don't know.
I received that, Rusty. Thank you.
Thank you, Rusty.
Fortune has smiled upon you, my brother.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I agree. Yes.
Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you.
You're
right.
so welcome. Yay. Jarvis, we can take the next caller. Welcome, caller. It's Dr. Sarah Larsen. How are you? Can you hear us?
Is that me?
It is you. Hi, welcome.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you took this call. Thank you, Dr. Sarah. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm based on what the former caller was mentioning. How do you resolve incest when it happened when you were an infant and ongoing? How do you resolve that? What is the lesson in that experience?
I love you for asking. I love you for sharing this, because at least 1 in 4 people, family members, Greg's family members, my family members, Jarvis's family members, everyone has had this experience. So this first step is to take a deep breath and fully understand that it happened sometime in the primordial soup of pure energy that you were, and everyone was at one point. Even royalty, and many royals still engage in incest. And so breathe that in just for a second. Actually, it's so funny. The Egyptian story on the Egyptian walls is a brother and sister and a brother and sister. Two sets of brothers and sisters make the world. Biblical references, brothers and sisters. And it's so important to really receive that you became part of the healing story by taking it on this time in life. One of the things when I transitioned multiple near-death experiences, when I had those, I felt everything I had participated in having another person feel. So anyone that performed incest or hurt a child in that way, as they're leaving the physical form, will balance, will feel exactly what they inflicted or created in the world as the other experienced it. The yin-yang symbol is a perfect example of that, which is if you are experiencing the darkness, the white on the other end, when you're leaving the body, you feel the darkness, you feel the lightness causing that. And so the first part is writing letters is the best gift that you can give. And you start by writing a letter to God or source or the universe or your version of it. And you say, "Dear God, I understand that this happened to me. I understand that this happened to my body. I understand that this was part of some agreement somewhere along the way. Dear God, even though I don't want, appreciate, know, or understand this, I'm willing to have had this happen because I have faith in you, God." And it's really giving the moment over. All of the past moments, whether you remember them or don't remember them, in a letter to God. You're writing, "Dear God, I wish you would help me be willing to get over this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to fully understand this because, God, this is," and then you write out what it has meant to you, what it created for you. And then you sign it, love, and the name that you were given, all the names that you were given. And you sit with a tree, you sit with something that has God force in it, and you read everything that you wrote to God. And if you felt safe enough expressing it, you write down all that happened to you. And so describing in detail what you remember or don't remember, what you were told, so that you can really, really feel it. And you can feel the words coming out, and you can feel it with the tree. You can feel like you're giving it to the earth. If you choose to go to the ocean, you're giving it to the ocean. And if there's more energy that needs to be expressed, crying, tears, whatever that is, how does that sound?
Awesome.
Awesome. I would love for you to, I hope we will get you to call in next week, but I would, or join the Miracle Makers. on Miracle Makers Academy, and we will go further into this. Jarvis gave us one finger, a good finger, to say we only have 1 more minute.
No, we need to go.
We have to go. So we will be back next week. But that's going to be the topic. Thank you for giving us the topic for next week. And we will be back with you next week to talk about how to heal incest. We love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Love you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye for now.
Thank you, Miracle Makers.
Thank you, Miracle. Bye. Bye. So next week, we've got our topic. This is a big one, a really, really big one, and we will help you process all of that, whether it helps you or whether it helps someone in your family. You'll be really, really grateful. Thank you so much. We're grateful.
The past is history, the future mystery. This moment is the gift.